So as some of you who've watched some of my videos over the last year or so may know, about 9-10 months ago I took out the Polini CDI from the Honda Zoomer that I have and replaced it with a Kitaco iMap. Now the Polini CDI was great for getting the speed up to 40 plus, but they are notoriously unreliable. They cause stalling problems, starting problems, all kinds of things. So I took it out, and the only other option for a CDI for the Zoomer is the Kitaco iMap, which comes from Japan. Now, at the time I installed that, I did a very basic video which I put on YouTube, but it didn't really go through the installation very well. So I also, very stupidly, cut the wrong and installed the wrong wire into it. And then started it up and everything, and of course it didn't work. The engine wouldn't catch. Now, I never found the iMap actually did anything. Once I'd fixed that and put it in, wired it properly, it never really did anything. It didn't seem to do anything at all. It's very difficult to get feedback on the iMap because obviously it's made in Japan, so unless you speak fluent Japanese, you're not going to have much luck there. And there's not many people in the UK seem to have installed these things. But anyway, eventually, quite recently, I got speaking to somebody who had a Zoomer and had also installed an iMap, and his results were quite, he was obviously getting speeds out of it, he was getting the things you should get. It was freeing up the engine to rev at its proper, its proper limit. Something that I hadn't found at all when I installed mine. Now his opinion was that probably by wiring up wrongly initially, I'd actually blown something in it, which apparently if you decode enough for the translate enough of the iMap instructions, there are clear warnings: don't wire it up wrongly because you can damage it. So what I think has happened is either A, it was just a duff unit to start with, or B, more likely, my initial wiring it up wrong just blew something inside it and it was never going to work. So anyway, curiosity has got the better of me, and seeing as we're in lockdown and I'm not spending any money at all on anything, I thought, well, what the heck, I'm just going to order a new one, fit it and see if it makes any difference. At the end of the day, if it doesn't, well, I'll just sell it on. So today from Japan arrived the replacement. So I'm just going to do a very quick unboxing to show you what you get in the box, and then the next part of this video will be a sort of guide to how to install it, both a sort of a guide at the kitchen table, if you like, well, almost literally in fact, and then we'll go down to the bike. We'll actually do the wiring into the engine, and then when I get a chance we'll fit this in, and later on we'll test it. So the box is well packed all the way from Japan, and inside it we have, for the second time, one Kitaco iMap. So this is what it looks like when you get it from Japan. I'll just open this up quickly. Obviously some of these, all these bits I have already, so the wiring and things I'm just going to use the loom that I made up before because I know it's right, but you'll see this in the videos ahead. So this is your Kitaco iMap. We're going to wire up this, we're going to wire up these cables here. This here is for plugging into a separate unit you can get, which allows you to plug the thing into a laptop and create your own maps. We're not going to use that, so don't worry about that. There are dip switches here, and on the back a guide to how to set it. Now the guy I spoke to said set it to dip switch 3, that's what he always uses, so that's what we're going to do. Also you get extra wires and connector to wire into your engine. I've got these already, so I'm just using the ones I've got because they're already put together. Again, you'll see in the video ahead. There's also connector things. I personally didn't use these, but you can if you want. So that's what you get in it. You also get some Japanese things. You get instructions, which are again in Japanese. But as we go through the videos ahead in this guide to the Kitaco, I'll show you the English translated instructions I use and how you do it. So that's a very brief unboxing video. One new iMap has arrived. We're going to wire this in now in the videos you'll see ahead here, and then when we get a chance we're going to get it tested. So thanks as always for watching. Next bit will be the kitchen table guide to setup. So I thought it might be worth trying to do a quick video of how you wire the Kitaco iMap into the Honda Zoomer engine control unit. There aren't any videos I've seen on YouTube, and it's it can be easy to make a mistake, as I did the first time, which is probably why my iMap doesn't work and I'm having to replace it. So these are the instructions you can find online, which somebody has kindly translated from Japanese, which is fine. As you can see, the translation shows as peach. It's not peach, it's pink, so don't go looking for a peach colour. You won't find one, so the word is pink. But these kind of, it's black, grey, it kind of mixes things up, and if you're trying to do this, which is fiddly enough job, as well as trying to read this, I think mistakes, can occur. So what I did to make things a bit easier was I basically just copied the instructions out, so you've got the black coupler section and then the grey coupler section, so they're separate, so you're not going to mix anything up. Now, when you get the iMap, you get this unit here, which has a red wire and 2 black wires coming off it. It has the main connector cable, which we'll be joining into. And it also has this unit here, which you only need to use if you buy a separate connector, which allows you to plug the unit into a laptop. So you can create your own maps, basically. You'll see that the iMap has dip switches on it, 4 of them. 3 of them are basically for increasing the revs, and the 4th one is a user map, so you can create your own maps if you have the the computer software and the connector. I don't, and I've no real interest in doing it, so we won't be using this at all. Just leave it alone, it's fine. So that's your iMap unit. With that, you get these cables. Ignore these bits here. I've just put these on because I'm going to be using them when I come to fitting them together. You get these cables. You also get little gold connectors, and you get this unit here. Now, I've actually already put this together because this is actually off my old one, and there's obviously no reason I can't reuse this as it's already been made up. So all you do is you just splice on the cable ends to the gold connectors, push them through, and that will allow you to connect this to this. And just make sure the colours obviously match. And again, try and get that right first time, because again, I mixed one of those up and it was these are the devil to get out again if you haven't got the right tool. So anyway, so what wires go with what? So this is the black coupler side we're looking at. There's a black coupler and there's a grey coupler. Again, I'll show you this in video when I go down to actually attach these, but this is what there is in here, a black coupler and a grey coupler. So the first wire is on the black coupler side. Now always, if you're cutting the wires, cut as far away from the actual coupler unit as you can, because if for any reason you have to strip back, you don't want to get near this or you could be in trouble. And also, cut gently. You don't want to pull any wires out you shouldn't. Okay, so first of all, the first wire you're going to cut is coming from the black coupler, and it's a pink wire with a blue stripe. And what you want to do is cut that. Now this is the only wire that you're going to cut and isn't actually going to join back together again when a wire is spliced into it. So this one is cut in half and stays in half. So on the left hand side here, you're going to take your wire that you've been provided with, and that is the grey red wire, and you're going to attach that onto there. The right hand side of the cut pink blue wire, you're going to attach the white wire to. Okay, nice and easy, number one done. The next wire coming from the black coupler is a pink wire with a fine black stripe. Now you're going to cut that wire, but you're going to cut it so you can splice another wire into it. So you're going to cut it, splice the wire, and then join it back up again. And the wire you're going to splice into that is the blue wire coming from the wiring section. Splice the blue in. And next one is slightly different. Next one from the black coupler side is a blue wire with a green stripe through it. Now again, you're going to cut this, with this you're going to splice 2 wires into, and the 2 wires you're going to splice into it are the black wires coming off the Kitaco. So one on one side basically, one on the other, join the wire back up again. I don't think it matters which, it doesn't seem to matter which black wire is on which side. I think it doesn't specify, and it's not obvious in the instructions. So, and I've actually tried it both ways and it didn't make any difference. So you spliced one black wire and another black wire, join the blue and green cable back up again. Okay, moving down, not moving across the table. Moving down for the final black coupler one, we have a red wire with a green stripe, which you cut and splice in the red wire coming off the unit, which is that one. So splice that in. Okay, that completes the black coupler. That's all you have to do with that. So then we move down to the grey coupler. And the grey coupler, you're back with this again. So in the grey coupler, the first wire is the yellow wire with the blue stripe, which you splice in the orange cable. Then you've got the blue wire with the yellow stripe, don't get those wrong, where you splice in the yellow cable. So you would splice all those cables in. You would then, if you hadn't already done so, attach your connectors to it and fit them into this box here, making quite sure when you connect it, the colours obviously match up. You see what I mean? So they're sort of obviously joining the correct colours. And basically, that should be you. Now, I got nothing out of this last time, but I think that's because I connected up wrongly and probably damaged it, so, or it could just be that this unit was a faulty one, I don't know. Anyway, we've got a new one coming, we're going to splice it in and try it again and see how we get on. But that is how you attach the cables, that's how you attach the iMap to your engine control unit, according, and these are the only ones I have to go by, these Japanese instructions, okay? So that's it. So when I go down to the bike, I'll just show you the wires I've cut so you can see the colours and see clearly what they look like, and then we'll join it all up, and then when we get a chance we'll take it for a test ride. But I hope that's of some help, because I couldn't find a video how to do it on YouTube, which is unusual. So any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching as always. Okay, so we went over the theory of it all previously. We're now going to attach everything up. Now I've already done one just to show you. This was the wiring loom that we had back in the house. I've added on, spliced in some little connector cables here to go to either end of the cut cables from the couplers. So just to go over the coupler cables again, I will put my glasses back on and actually see what I'm doing. The pink and the blue cable you cut on the black coupler side. Also on the black coupler side is the pink and black cable, which I've already wired up. There is the blue and green cable and the red and green cable. And these are the other halves of them on this side. From the grey coupler, you're only cutting two. You're cutting the yellow and blue, and just underneath it here, the blue and the yellow. And there's the other bits coming off there. Okay, so I've spliced in the blue cable onto the loom here. So that is the one, the pink and black cable, splice in the blue, continue into the pink and black. So there you've got pink and black, spliced in the blue, continuing on to the other side of the pink and black just down there. Right, so the next job is we're going back up to the top here for this pink and blue cable here, which the coupler side is what we're going to attach the grey cable to on the loom, and the side to the right of the coupler, when it's cut, we're going to attach the, if I can remember, the white cut cable to, which is here. So that's the next job, attaching the loom to those two. Okay, so that's the grey wire from the loom joined into the pink and blue wire on the black coupler, and the white wire from the loom joined into the other end of the pink and blue wire from the black coupler. So that's that done, so that's three attached. Right, let's do the yellow next. The yellow is actually from the grey coupler side, and that is the blue wire with the yellow stripe from the grey coupler. Blue wire, yellow stripe, very fiddly, there's not much of it. Down there, blue wire, yellow stripe, and the other end is off here. So that's the next job. We're going to attach the yellow to that. This is going to be fiddly. Right, I'm going to have to get some electrical tape to bind these, because I just can't get in there with the little the heat shrink connectors I'm using. It's just too fiddly. I don't want to damage other wires. Anyway, that's it connected. The yellow wire goes to the blue wire with the yellow stripe, blue wire with the yellow stripe, and that's connected up with electrical tape around these just to keep it all looking good. So the last one on the loom at the moment is the orange wire, and the orange wire, again from the grey coupler, goes to the yellow wire with the blue stripe, which is that one there, and this little bit poking through here, which again is going to be a bit fiddly, but we'll get it done. Okay, next job, and that's the orange wire. There we go, orange wire. Okay, I think this is now finished, wired up, ready for the iMap to arrive. So I just want to go over finally what we've done here. So I'm keeping myself right, and I'm keeping anyone who watches this right. So going by the instructions, let's start from the top. The pink and blue wire from the black coupler, the coupler side goes to the grey, the right hand cut piece goes to the white. So there you go, you have your pink and blue wire going to the grey, and on the other side here your pink and blue going to the white. So far so good. The next one is a pink and black wire which has a blue wire spliced into it. So, not easy to see now I've finished it, but there is your pink and black wire, which has spliced into it blue wire from the loom, and there's the pink and black wire continuing to come out of there, so that is spliced into the blue wire. Now the next one from the black coupler side is the blue-green wire coming from the coupler. Now the blue-green wire has a black wire coming directly from the iMap, goes into this side, and also a black wire directly from the iMap into this side. Now in order to do that, so I can connect the iMap in, I've put little connection bits on here. So this is the, I'm looking for blue-green wire is here. It's going in, and there's a join coming off here to attach the first black wire. It carries on round to the rest of the blue-green wire, which you're not going to see, but it goes down to there. And there's a second join coming off for the other black wire from the iMap to go into. That's how I'm doing it. I mean, you could just splice it directly on, but doing it this way means it's easy enough to disconnect the iMap should I want to, without having to cut all the cables again. Finally, from the black coupler side, we have the red-green wire, which is going to connect, which is spliced into that is the red wire directly from the iMap. So again, there's your blue-green here, sorry, red-green, see how easy this is, where are we? Yeah, there's your red-green wire there, if you can see it, red-green. So again, I've just spliced in a coupler, joining, whatever that is, into that, so I can just plug in the iMap directly to that, and that carries on into the red-green wire that goes off there. So that's how that's the black coupler side. There's your black coupler. Next up is the grey side. Now there's only two wires from the grey side, and they were both going into the wiring loom. We had the yellow-blue, which was going to the orange. So there is the yellow wire with the blue stripe going into the orange, and continuing yellow wire with blue stripe continuing off there. And finally, the blue wire with the yellow stripe, which is going to the yellow cable on the loom. So you can't really see it's tucked away under here, but that's the blue wire with the yellow stripe coming out here, going into the yellow cable, and there's the blue wire with the yellow stripe coming back out there. I don't think you can really, the lighting's not very good here, you can't really see that, but it is under there. Okay, so that should be it wired up. So all I need to do now is put the male versions of these on the black and the red wires coming directly out of the iMap, and then I can just plug them straight in. And all I need to do is attach the coupler into the iMap, which is all set up to just plug that into, and hopefully that should be it. With a bit of luck, the iMap will be here in the next few days. We can plug it in, and then we can get around to the more interesting side of seeing if it actually does anything. So that's the wiring. I hope it's some help. I know it's not easy to see what's going on here, but I hope it just makes it clearer, because I couldn't find anything on YouTube at all about wiring in an iMap to a fuel-injected zoomer. So that's how you do it. At least I hope that's how you do it. If it works, that's how you do it. Okay? Thanks anyway. We'll be back to plug in the iMap and test it as soon as it arrives. So we finally got the new iMap wired in. The connector coming out the iMap is joined to the connector I made. All the wire colours match up. The three separate wires coming out the iMap, the red wire, as you can see I've crimped on little connectors here which fit into these ones. So this red wire is going into the, just check now, is the red-green from the black coupler side. Whereas the black wires, now one wire is slightly, it's not entirely clear, or even if it matters, but I'm guessing one wire is slightly nearer, so we're putting that into the right hand side, and the other wire, black wire, going to the left hand side. It looks alright to me. So we'll put a bit of tape around these just to hold them on, and then set the dip switch to number 3. You can see that. We're going to tuck all this away inside, get these wires tidied up, and then we'll, all importantly, we'll switch the bike on and make sure it's actually going to start. If it doesn't start, that's a sure sign something's not wired properly. So tidy the wires up, put the battery box back on, or actually we'll start it before we do that, and then we're going to start the bike up and just make sure it starts okay. That's it running.